Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday night experience. I'm Reverend Laura from the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, and it's my pleasure to be back here with you again this evening. This month, we are exploring the concept of unity and looking at different spiritual practices that we can engage in to bring a deeper and richer sense of unity into our lives. And so we've looked at gratitude and forgiveness and actually the practice of meditation itself as ways to enhance our experience of unity. Tonight I want to look at something that I came across a few years ago and has really worked through me quite a bit. And it comes from a book written by Pierre Prader-Van called The Gentle Art of Blessing. And it is the act of blessing others. Blessing others is really a practice in which we give of ourselves unconditionally, wishing the highest and greatest good for whatever condition it is that we see, whatever person that we are dealing with, whatever that situation is. It's wishing the highest and greatest good will unfold through that situation without putting any kind of conditions or restrictions or preferences from my own little mind into that situation. In his book, The Gentle Art of Blessing, Pierre Prader-Van says it this way: to bless means to wish, unconditionally, total, unrestricted good for others and events from the deepest chamber of our heart. It means to hold in reverence, to behold with utter awe that which is always the gift from a loving Creator. Those who are blessed by our intentions and our thoughts are set aside, consecrated, made holy and whole. To bless it is to invoke divine care upon, to speak and think gratefully for, to confer happiness upon. And although we ourselves are never the bestower, but simply the joyful witness of life's abundance, to bless without discrimination of any sort is the ultimate form of giving, because those we bless will never know from whence that sudden ray that bursts through the clouds of their skies, and you will rarely be a witness to the sunshine of their lives. It's that idea that what we send forth without any attachment to having to see the outcome of it or see any evidence that it was ever experienced in the other person's life. It is a deep knowing within ourselves that what we are doing is a benefit to that person, and we give those blessings freely. One of the people that I study frequently is Joel Goldsmith, and in his book, The Infinite Way, he states it this way: we are a law of love unto all whom we come into contact. We should remember that all who come within our range of thought and activity must be blessed by the contact. Because we are a law of love, we are the light of the world. Now, really understanding this, that if we create that space within ourselves where we are a blessing and we send those blessings forth, we are creating a world that is more unified, a world that is working more in harmony, a world that is certainly more peaceful and more pleasurable to be in. Really understanding this concept that as we become that place in consciousness where spirit has room to operate, gives a huge amount of power to those blessings. It's nothing that we do of our own volition as far as the blessing itself. What we do is we make ourselves the space for it to happen. We make ourselves the place through which God can show up and do these wonderful things. So there are several blessings in his book, The Gentle Art of Blessing. And then he wrote a sequel to it, which is 365 days, 365 blessings to heal myself and the world. Really living one's spirituality in everyday life. This whole idea of being a place of blessing for others, it transcends all religions. It transcends even out into non-religious connotations and non-religious situations. It has been around since the beginning of time and will continue onward. And so tonight I'm going to share a few blessings from a couple of different sources here to give us an idea of how, by engaging in this gentle art of blessing, by making ourselves available to be that space through which Spirit can show up, we are actually creating more unity in our world. So I thought I'd start with one of my favorite people. I happen to be a connoisseur of all things Mac, all things Apple. So this is from Steve Jobs. It says, "Because my time is limited, may I not waste it living someone else's life. May I not be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. May I not let the noise of others' opinions drown out my inner voice. And most importantly, may I have the courage to follow my heart and intuition. They somehow already know what I truly want to become, and everything else is secondary." And we look at the results of his life and the magnificent work that he was able to do in the world, then he's lived his blessing. He really did, and I think it's important that we each find our own blessing, and then, as he says, have the courage to follow our hearts and intuition. They will not lead us astray, and they will lead us into having a greater experience of unity with those around us. Another person that I've read many of his books is Gregg Braden, and he says this: "If we can enhance the experiences when someone or an event hurts us in life, not that we have to like the experience or want to have it again, but as the ancients say, that we should bless the experience." Now this may sound very strange, to bless the things that hurt you, but here's what happens. When we begin to bless the things that cause us pain, the blessing is simply the acknowledgement. And for example, I bless the person who has just been dishonest with me. I bless the person who violated my trust and betrayed my confidence. And then I say it over and over and over again. I say it aloud. And what begins to happen is that verbal expression brings up the physical energy from the heart and into the body. And very soon our bodies become warmer, and we may often have tears in our eyes as we are engaging in this gentle art of blessing. And when I keep saying, I bless this person, I bless this person. And that's all we really need. Because for just a moment, when the charge is relieved, when the energy is dissipated, we can replace the hurt that we feel in that situation with something else. And so rather than judging the experience when they came to us as we recall these experiences, we can look at each experience as a blessing. And when we find ourselves hurt again, we say, yes, I feel hurt. So we acknowledge it first. And then secondly, what is the hurt saying to me? What voice am I hearing? What does it tell me about my life? And bless the hurt that is giving me information about myself. By doing this, we change our relationships with everyone that we've ever had any kind of conflict with, any kind of ill feelings with. We begin to shift that energy of those feelings and that situation and create it into a something that begins to heal us in a different way. I have found this practice to be done, for me, I do it mostly through the practice of loving kindness. It's what the Buddhists call the Metta Sutra. It's a blessing. It's, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. That's the first verse. I get myself into that space where I'm feeling centered and grounded. And then I can turn my thoughts to the other in the situation. And then I begin saying, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. And then we can continue with that. And if there's a group of people, may we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. And there are lots of forms of the loving kindness meditation. This happens to be the one that works for me. What I've found in my life is by doing that is I lessen almost all of the ill feelings that I have. Now, it doesn't happen, well, it hasn't happened in my experience with the first recitation of that. It is a practice, and like all spiritual work, it takes concentrated effort to bring into our experience a change of energy, a change of thought, a change of emotions around the situation. But it is possible, completely possible. I've experienced in my life in deep and profound ways. I never really thought of the loving kindness as me blessing the world. For me, it was helping me get over something that was troubling to me. But as I think about it now, I realize that it truly is just a simple blessing to the world, to help us get to a state where what is coming forth from me is unconditional love. No matter what the situation is, no matter what happened, I can be a place that exudes unconditional love. And who really wouldn't want to be in that state where they express nothing but love? No matter what the situation we find ourselves in, who we're facing, whoever it be, whether it's something simple or whether it's profound. So one of the other blessings that came in here is from John Donahue, he's an Irish poet. And he writes this: "May I learn to just live in every moment of my life. Just be it, express it, and love, love, love. May I not know anything else but love, and may my whole being just radiate love to the exclusion of all else. And may I grasp deeply that on that true plane of being there is nothing else. Love will accomplish all I need to do. It will heal everything and anything. It will raise the dead, especially those who are dead in spirit. May I be nothing but love. May love inspire my every thought, dream, desire, intention, motive, my visualization, my speaking, and my acting. When people meet me, may they experience only a sea of love surrounding them and carrying them through. And may I in turn see only love through the eyes of love, until everywhere I behold the very face of God and feel the gentle presence of love." Imagine if we could get to a place where everyone we saw in love. We saw it through love in our eyes. We saw love radiating from them. We felt that connection between us as nothing but a feeling of love. Imagine the unity that we could bring in the world when we are engaging in that. Another blessing that I found in there that I really like is from the Native American tradition, from the Cheyenne people. And it says, "May we know peace for as long as the moon shall rise, for as long as the rivers shall flow, for as long as the sun will shine, for as long as the grass will grow. Let us know peace." If we are experiencing nothing but love and peace in our lives, then we can't help but feel that connection to others around us. Because it's the opposite of love and peace that helps create separation in our lives. It's when we're not feeling peaceful, when we're not feeling love, when we're seeing someone as other and seeing their faults and their shortcomings and their differences and making them more important than the commonalities that we have to bring us together into that sense of unity. This from the yogi Amit Ray. He writes, "We are all so deeply interconnected. We have no option but to love all. Be kind and do good to anyone, and that will be reflected back to us. The ripples of a kind heart are the highest blessings of the universe." The ripples of a kind heart are the highest blessings of the universe. Imagine if we can get to a place where that is our experience. A kind heart meeting a kind heart in every situation. I know that for myself, as I have practiced this gentle art of blessing, I can very, very quickly change how I'm feeling. If I'm kind of messed up in my head and I'm driving along and I set the intention to bless everyone I see, my mood shifts instantly. It's honestly quite surprising to see how quickly it does it. The first time I had ever done this, I was driving from St. George, Utah back to Las Vegas. And that's what I did. I just, as I made contact with any person, I simply sent a blessing out to them. And the blessings were ones that seemed to occur to me for whatever the situation that person was in at the moment. I just found a blessing for that. For instance, I saw someone who was asking for money on the street corner, and I said, you know, my blessing was, may they find shelter and peace tonight. Just very simple. May they find shelter and peace tonight. As I was driving along Interstate 15, there was a truck pulling a bunch of four-wheel off-road thingies, you know, the little motorcycle things that people love to go in the desert riding. And so my blessing was, may they have a magnificent and glorious time and return home safely. You know, let them really feel the entire joy of the experience and come home safely to their homes. Just as I went through the day, it was like a 2-hour car ride, and just as I went through that, I had the most magnificent time just finding different ways to bless. The person that, was zooming around the traffic on the road, you know how some people need to get someplace in a hurry, was zooming in and out of traffic. I blessed them to arrive at their destination safely and easily and without any stress, and that everyone around them is safe as well. You know, just simple things like that. It really will shift us. And I know, as Greg Braden was talking about here, that energetically, when we shift our energy, then that shift in energy is felt. It ripples out from us, and it is felt all around the world. And I think this is one of the ways that we can actually begin to experience more unity in our world. As I've said many times throughout this month and in many different ways, if we are focusing on the differences in life, then we will never get to a place of unified consciousness. It's when we begin to see how we are similar. And when we find the ways that we are similar, then we can't help but want to bless those people along the way, because we've experienced things similar to that. And certainly would have been nice to have a blessing in turn for us. And so I think this is one of the things that we can begin to do, is to just simply find those intimate moments. As I said earlier, no one else will probably ever know what you've done, but you will know. You'll know it in your heart. You'll know it in your soul. And you will receive the results of it around the world. If nothing else, you're going to see the results of it within your own being, because it certainly will make you feel much more at peace and much more connected to everyone around you. Have a beautiful and blessed week. We hope to see you again with us next week. We're going to switch topics. We're going to be talking about life and death and all of the things associated with that in our next month as we come into our Wednesday evening experiences. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.